Hello everyone and welcome to R.E.C.reation. Today I'm going to be making a shelf. The missus says she wants a shelf that will fit in here and she wants it to be simple. Just bottom and the top, nothing in the middle. So, how hard can that be, right? Okay, here we go. So first I got to make the measurements here. Make sure that whatever I'm going to cut will fit in there. Now I'm just gonna mention beforehand to kind of try to cover myself that in old houses, especially in Japan, then the interesting thing is that even if you measure things, houses aren't always straight and walls aren't always straight, and the measurements don't always really match what is actually there. So you can measure something perfectly and cut the wood perfectly and it still won't fit. So that being said, let's see how well I do. So, yep, there are the measurements. Like you can see that. Anyway, I guess I'm going to be making some more measurements just so that I get things right, or try to get things right. I probably didn't need so much video of me doing measurements, but anyway, I'm gonna keep on doing that, and then I'm going to go and I'm going to find the wood that I need to make these shelves. Okay. Great, yes, I have the final measurements here. Again, you can't see that, but oh well. Okay, so here we go. This is where I keep all the wood I have. I'm just going to mention beforehand that all of this wood has been used before for something or other, and I am pretty much recycling it. I wouldn't say all of it. Most of it's been used before. I have quite a bit that I've brought with me from other projects, and I'm going to use it again. Here's the planks I have. Yeah, it's a fair amount right here. Now, what I generally try to do is I try to create as little waste as possible, if that makes sense. I want to find the pieces of wood that match what I'm trying to make as closely as possible, so I'm not like cutting up big pieces of wood that I could use for something else to make something small. So these pieces right here, these are probably like pretty much perfect for what I need to do. Yeah, I don't remember the measurements, so this is the workspace right here. I use the natural light from outside, and I probably should make a workspace table because I'm rather tall. Working on the ground is not always very easy, but this is what I have, and this is what I'm going to be using. As you can probably tell, I'm not putting a total. Oh, look at that! There's a little friend coming to visit. Yeah, I don't put that much money into what I'm doing. I'm recycling the wood. I'm using what I have. I'm using very minimal tools. So yeah, hopefully if you want to get DIY yourself, you can kind of take a look at this and realize that, wow, if this guy can make something, then I can too. You know, you don't really need to have anything and everything to start making stuff. Right, so here I go. I'm measuring the wood that I need for, I believe this piece right here is the bottom of my shelf. Great. And I don't remember the exact measurements, but I do remember that the front of the shelf and the back of the shelf are like 1 centimeter different in width. So it's a bit tricky to cut the wood properly so that it fits, just because the space that it's fitting into isn't a complete perfect rectangle. Great, so here we go, cutting the wood on the side. and the top. And so if I was trying to be professional about this, I'd use sandpaper here, but it doesn't really matter, so I'm just scraping it off with another piece of wood, because as the title says, I am a noob. Okay, let's go see if this fits. And it doesn't. Way to go. Yes, so what I'm using right here is something called the David method, which is a method that one of my friends named for me, which is basically start working and then fix things later. So I just went and cut that piece of wood and I'm putting it back in, and that looks good enough. Yeah, it fits pretty well. So yeah, the David method does not require much planning at all. A lot of the stuff I make up as I go along, and as you can probably tell, that doesn't really create very smooth work, but I mean, I'm not much of a perfectionist, so it works for me. Okay, now I believe I'm making the back of the shelf, because as you could see, the wall back there is pretty gross, so I'm going to cover that up, and that piece of wood I just took out was not big enough. Here's the second piece, and yes, this is big enough, so I'm going to go cut that, measure it, and cut it so that it fits. Alright, here we go. Fun. Alright, well, that does not look like it's gonna fit. Nope. But I put the camera down once and I kind of shifted things around, and yes, it did fit. It's not perfect, but it's good enough. It's not going anywhere. It covers up the gross wall. Yeah, I wouldn't really give that a thumbs up, but I mean, I guess I'm a bit too optimistic. So now I am making the top of the shelf. Alright, this is what it looks like in place. The sides look good. It kind of sits in there by itself, which means that the sides are like a perfect size, but oh my goodness, what's going on here? The back is not straight, and it looks like I am trying to freehand a line with. Let's see how that fits. So let's try again, putting it in. Seems to fit pretty well. And yeah, we all knew when we saw that blue line that this was not going to be a clean cut. But I mean, I guess it works. Maybe I'll put something on top of that later on to kind of cover it up. But for now, that is what I have. So next I'm going to secure these different pieces in place. I'm using screws and using these pieces right here. These are all recycled as well, the screws, the pieces I'm holding in my hand. And these are the tools I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using this to kind of make sure that everything's level. I'm going to use a hammer to, I don't know what I'm using the hammer for. I'll have to find out when I rewatch the video. Anyway, so all these screws, as I just said, are recycled. I've used all these before, which can be a good thing, and it can also be a bad thing if these screws are weak and if they have already been worn down a little bit. And yes, here's what the hammer is for. It's to kind of level out the shelf, because it's a pretty good fit. It's kind of wedged in there, so trying to make it as level as possible. Now this is the part where things get rather interesting. I'm not really so sure what I was trying to do here, because as you can see, my body is way too big for this space, and yet I am still trying to use these L-shaped supports, still trying to screw them in with the top on, and as you can see, it's not going too well. And that sound you can hear right there, that is the sound of failure. Well, not really, but it's probably the sound of a screw that was a little bit weak to start out with, that is getting stripped, and I am ignoring it and just continuing to try to screw it in, and it's not working. And here we go. You can see the first screw is kind of in right there, but yeah, there is no grooves left on that screw. And I believe that's not in all the way either. Now this is the kind of cringe part right here. Well, the whole thing is pretty cringe, obviously, but this is rather embarrassing, even for me. I think my brain went on vacation right here. I am trying to screw something in here upside down in a wedged space without securing the top. So if I push with the screw gun from the bottom, the whole shelf will move up. And here you can see I keep dropping the screw. There's not enough space. I'm dropping my hat. I'm just making it kind of complete fool of myself right here. But I'm still trying to do things this way. Hopefully soon I'll realize this is not the best way to do things, and I'll find a different way to do it. But until then, good luck, David. Yeah, you're gonna need it, buddy. That does not look like a good idea. There goes the hat again. The shelf is out of place. Gotta push it back in place. And now I'm gonna try to screw it in, but I mean, it's like impossible to get the right angle here. And even like with my wrist this way, there's like no way I can put strength into the, like, to force the screw in. So this is just gonna be a failure. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. More futile attempts to try to get the screw in. If it's taking this long to get one screw in, then something is not going well. Many things in this case. Keep dropping the screw, hat comes off, frustrated, and that right there is the hat throw of total frustration, and that is the reason that screw was completely stripped. I gave up on that idea. I ripped the shelf out, and I am trying again with a different way of doing things, which I probably should have done to start out with. And that is to find a cross beam, this right here, and screw that in first and just kind of rest the shelf on top of that. So here's a good piece of wood. Again, I don't want to waste anything, so I found a piece that matches what I want almost perfectly. And I have myself a ledge to put my shelf on. And oh, there we go. The camera fell over as well. I'm really on a roll here, aren't I? Even the camera won't do what I want it to. So that's a pretty good fit right there. And this little piece of wood here represents the shelf. It's the same thickness. So I'm just going to hold this here so I get the right height and drill. Yeah, good job. Way to drill the screw in smoothly and properly. Not. Don't worry, it'll get better. Yeah, there you go. Good job. Okay, so now I can put the shelf on top of here. It should be level. Or it's level with the back, the windowsill there. Yeah. Looks good enough. Okay, so I'm going to screw this in here. And yeah. One, oh. Oh. Way to go. You can do it. Not that hard. Alright, very good. And third one is a job. Great. Wow. Today's not my date. Come on. Good enough. Okay, so now that's relatively level, but even if it's not, there's not really much I can do about it because it's already all screwed in. So, now I'm going to level out the top. Not the top, the whole thing's the top. Level out the front, so that it's level all the way around. And now I'm going to measure here to make the legs that support the front. So, I have 2 pieces of wood. Gonna measure them to match and cut them accordingly. And fit them in place in the front to support the front part of the shelf. Alright, there we go. Let's see if this is a good fit. Yeah, there's one on the left here. There's that little ledge on the bottom here, so it's not going to be completely up against the wall, but I think that's fine. Screw this on the top. Secure it, make sure it doesn't go in there. I probably should have screwed it in the bottom too, but I didn't. And I guess it's fine. I mean, it's not like it's going to go anywhere. We're just going to put towels in it, so it's not like it needs to be super secure. And there you have it. There is the shelf. Looks good. I wouldn't give it a thumbs up though. Hey guys, thanks for watching till the end of that video. I hope I didn't hurt your eyes too much. I'm not gonna lie, that's probably one of the worst jobs I've ever done on a DIY project so far. Not like I'm trying to cover up for myself or anything, but I can do better and I will do better. So if you want to see me do better in the future, then you can subscribe and come back. And if you'd like to see me make a fool of myself, then you can like the video, and hope to see you next time. So thank you guys.